Okay, so I'm doing this video finally. I've had a couple of friends ask me. I feel like there's some nuggets in there from this experience that could be helpful to others. And I wanted to do it on a day when I wasn't taking myself too seriously. So here we go. This is my video about healing, frequency medicine, trauma exposure, post 2020 bullshit, and my art. I've been on this expedition for the last 3 years, starting with electrosensitivity. My healing started by discovering that I had a very high heavy metals count. I had a series of things that I had no idea about. And conventional or allopathic medicine was not receptive to any of this. It turns out that some people don't methylate, and methylation just means they don't detox naturally. So even though I've been in health and wellness most of my life, I had never detoxed or barely detoxed any lead or chemical exposure that I had been exposed to. And of course, I'm in the arts, so, I've had exposure. Long story short, I find out that I have a rather high amount of lead with some other chemicals, but not as high as lead. And I proceed to detox it over the course of the last 2 years. I started with 50 hours of IV chelation and moved over to frequency medicine, which has made a huge difference. People who have a high heavy metal count are susceptible to other diseases that the mainstream medical field does not recognize. Just a little bit about electrosensitivity is it is about frequency, and of course we are electric bodies, and not only are we electric bodies, but in the ether, which is now what a lot of my artwork is about, in the air around us, there is structure. Electrosensitivity ends up being the last straw when your body is so taxed and burdened by other things. And so for me, I'll just put a list of things on the screen. The one thing I'd like to describe is that we have an electrical magnetic field around us. And there are two kinds of EMFs, native or non-native. The reason why this is important is just like the water you drink or the food you consume, if your field around us, which has a structure, is polluted or agitating, it's not supportive to health or sleep. And so I have a couple of thoughts. One is to turn your Wi-Fi off at night so that your cells can recover. The other is, if you can, we had to hardwire our house, so there's no more Wi-Fi running around. It's actually cabled. And this has been great. Actually, when I was at my sickest, I couldn't be around Wi-Fi, a phone, any of that stuff. I feel like that's a really important thing to share. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that I was able to house all of these toxins for over 40 years. And what happened was during 2020, with all the displacement and the crap, all the crap, it caused a level of trauma that allowed it to open up or come out, so to speak, kind of like my defenses were down or something. It has been such a blessing because it's giving me an opportunity to reevaluate my relationships with people who have different opinions and different views. And also, it's reinforced my relationship with God, which has been magnificent. Because really, for me, everything's energy or frequency. I really see how everything is built on that. And so our perception of the world around us, our spiritual body, and our physical body. So that takes me into my art. A lot of my work is and has been talking about this, is talking about native EMFs and also non-native EMFs. It's also talking about our relationship with how we communicate with each other through the space between us, and the dysfunction of that when it is bombarded with, I guess what I would call air smog or electrical smog, and the burdens of the environment that our body takes on. So I'm going to leave a bunch of links below to Nick's documentary, but also a place to get lead testing, and also how to hardwire your house and anything else. But that's going to be on the YouTube version.